Booga, 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 booga. The age of nuance continues. So I've seen, it's almost like there's a script. It's almost like there's a script. Like I said, I've made my critiques of like truther culture and all that bullshit, but it seems like there's a script that people have, generally speaking, about Republicans, where it's like, we need to turn Republicans over to us so that they can vote for us, the ordinary Republicans. Your grandpa who's been voting for Republicans for 50 years or something like that isn't the problem. It's the MAGA peds that are the problem. It's the MAGA cultists and the fascists that Trump promotes. They're the problem. And it's more of this sort of, they're maintaining these sort of, just vote, bro. Just vote. Just keep voting. And that'll save us, Electoralism, the evangelical idea of electoralism is still promoted by libs and folks who just don't want a Fed post, I have more respect for the folks who are just like, yeah, all Republicans are fascists. I'd have more respect for that person than somebody who is just like, well, just, it's just about the people at the top, it's just those guys, at least in my opinion. But, when you see all this sort of bullshit, you say to yourself, what the fuck is going on with these people, We see people like Vosh, of course, who have a hatred not only of religion, but he's very much like an empiricist sort of person. It's just like, oh boy. And he spent probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, talking about Russell Brand, talking to this Indian activist, I think Shiva something or other. But anyway, and he just lost it at the end. It goes to show how frustrated these people are with spirituality and religion in general. These folks just, they don't have any argument to it. They're just like, well, GMOs are bad, this and that, but they serve a purpose and all this. Like I said, I think it's always been this way to a point, but now that we have more information, people are much more nuanced, right? It's like, well, highways are bad, but they serve the purpose. And it's just like, and they're just, when I hear Vosh in particular, because I'm watching this stream, and it's just so ridiculous. He's mentioned it several times about efficiency. He's like, automation and efficiency. I'm like, isn't that what capitalism talks about? Isn't that, like I say, of course, capitalism is hugely inefficient. I get it. But it's just like, why do you keep saying efficiency is good? It's just like, it's like Arbeit macht frei type of feeling, It's very weird. But it also goes to show, of course, he's one of those guys who's just like, well, fuck nature. It's just like, yeah, I don't get outside as much as I'd like to either. But it's honestly because everything's burnt and it's just hot. But that's my excuse. Honestly, the only real prescriptions, the only real what are we going to do about it attitudes I have are that, you go back to a localism. You go back to a regional power. I've said warlordism, but I do think that's, going to be the case in some ways. I've said this for years, is that, it's going to be like a Chinese civil war sort of attitude where just after the fall of the Qing dynasty, you had I'm trying to think of his name now. It's almost there. Anyway. And you had these various leaders who tried to claim the emperorship for themselves, but it just didn't work out. And so it became, various warlords who rule, particularly in the north. You think of the Chinese Muslims who ruled that area, particularly the Ma clique, like Ma Xingda and all those folks who kind of created kind of a quasi-socialist society. And I think that's going to definitely occur. And you're going to have, various Protestant and maybe Catholic in some areas, depending. areas that are controlled by that, and they work with warlords and gun runners and everything else. And I think that's what's going to occur. I don't think restaurants are going to magically shut down, or you think that the local Walmart, no, that they'll break the Walmart up into various areas, and it'll be like a black market or something like that. I mean, hell, that's what they did, in a town over. That's what happened to the old Walmart, is they turned it into a place where it was basically just like a flea market. That's what they turned it into. So yeah, I just think that buildings will be repurposed as they are now, and yeah, you will have spirituality and religion, and that belief will sustain people. And you're going to have those rebellious people, of course, who are just going to be like, I want to be able to travel, and there was a time when we used to travel to Europe, or we used to travel to Asia, or wherever, and it's just like a lot of those folks are going to be disappointed when they go there. But I think that's what will occur in the next 200 to 300 years, is that the whole nuance arguments, of course, will go away. Good, bad, right, or wrong. But that's my attitude at this point. Honestly, that we're just kind of living in just kind of the middle time right now. We're just kind of living in a slow time right at this moment. On this day, July 26, 2022, when I'm recording this, is that it's a lull right now. Eventually, it's going to pick back up. Protests are going to occur. Some of it's going to be astroturf. Some of it's going to be genuine. And we're going to see what's going to occur. We're going to see riots and protests that will occur, though, leading up to the midterms. People just think the Democrats are going to win. I just don't think so. It's the same thing. I mean, including in this nuance sort of talk, as well as the changing of the definition of recession. It's like we are in a recession. There's no doubt. We are. You can go ahead and flip it around all you want to, but no, that's the truth. We are. I don't think it's going to lead to civil war. It's just going to lead to more people talking shit and everything else like that. But the system will maintain itself for now. When things occur, I mean, that's probably not going to happen in yours or mine lifetimes, but it will eventually occur. Anyway, I think that's all I got. Hopefully you got something out of that, or kept you busy for about 8 minutes. So that's all I got. Anyway, bye-bye. Goodbye. There we go. That's better.